Welcome back to MK World. Got a different type of video today. I'm just going to be reading some suggestions in MKCentral. Like most other Mario Kart lounges, you can suggest stuff and then staff can either approve it, deny it, consider it, or ignore it completely. I assume some of these are going to be a little outdated because you could make suggestions like very soon after the game came out. But yeah, let's go see what people want to change about the game. And our first suggestion is not allowing teams to use AI logos. It's already pretty difficult to tell these days whether or not a piece of art is AI generated. Well, sometimes. But yeah, this is just going to be completely impossible to moderate. Next, replace tags / updating switch name with the new stickers. No. Yeah, it seems other people didn't really like this one either. Why do they give no reason for everything? Like, it's very easy to just say why. People can't unlock certain stickers, it's harder to see than the name tags anyway. Like, you could have just said anything, man. Next, regarding Mario Kart World, if a current staff member doesn't have the game yet and doesn't plan to buy it for a while, he loses his role as moderator for game-related structures. If an administrator representing a country / language doesn't have the game, he also loses his rights. Okay, that's kind of funny. The vote is taken among the moderator sites who have the game. I assume he just means the moderators that have the game. I don't really know what this guy's talking about. To replace him temporarily or indefinitely. Yeah, I don't think we should remove people from staff just because they don't have a $500 console, to be honest. Run a Grand Slam for MK World. The 24-player format creates so much more opportunity, and I think 6v6v6v6 would be an amazing way to implement it. Staff said Grand Slam was a frequent talking point. I have never heard of a Grand Slam, so can't really give my thoughts on this one. This one just says battle with a smiley face. I'm surprised that has that many upvotes, to be honest. I mean, I didn't know anyone still cared about battle, but I guess if they can make a battle lounge, why not, you know? I'm certainly never gonna play it, but some people will. Allow the rally intermission courses. Next. Instead of suggestions, discussion for a discussion. Enable thread suggestions votes. We can keep each discussion which contains the relevant suggestion. I'm not really sure how threads work on Discord, but yeah, that seems like a pretty good idea. Rally track abbreviations should be hyphenated abbreviations of the origin track and the destination after. Sky High Sunday to start repeat should be RSHS to SP. Okay, I mean, sure, but it doesn't really matter because nobody's going to be playing intermissions. But alright, it's a pretty good idea otherwise. Mandate using the Teams feature for wars. Everybody does that already, as they should. The Teams feature in this game is actually really good. Out of like the 10 wars I've played, I've only ever seen one team start a room without using the Teams feature, and I'm pretty sure they did it on accident. Instead of banning the rally routes outright, rally route should be treated as one possible pick that can only be picked once and not repicked. That way they are still a part of Mogies, while also limiting the total amount of rally routes picked to one per Mogi. You see, why do you want them to be a part of Mogies, though? Like, he has a point that if anyone's gonna pick an intermission, they're gonna pick ones that are actually good. And there are intermissions in the game that are, like, not awful. There's one from, like, DS Airship to Bowser's Castle or something. I forget what it is exactly. But there's, like, no off-road. It's still pretty boring and pretty straight, but there's, like, something to it, and it's not just a golden fest like most other intermissions in the game. And I would honestly rather play it than all the tracks that are just, like, half water, but I would definitely not rather play it than any other track. But yeah, just enough with the intermissions. Now, I'm not just saying intermissions are shit because it's the popular thing to think right now. It's the popular thing to think right now because it's true. For survival mode lounges, I assume that's Knockout Tour, there will be 16 players instead of 24 with the bot. Okay, you know, he was actually onto something at the start. I know this will sound like a troll post, but I'm being so genuinely dead serious when I suggest this. This is probably not a good sign for the rest of your suggestion. A 24 player, there we go. 100 point cup, whether it is 6v6v6v6, 12v12, or okay, you get it. With how chaotic this game can be, I genuinely believe this would be a lot more fun than it was in 8 Deluxe. Not really familiar with the term 100 point cup. I assume that's just a format where it's the first person to get to 100 points wins. People seem to like it though, so sure. Is it the long-term decision to ban all intermission tracks going forwards into all competitive lobbies, or is it just a stopgap to do the safe thing for the first ever tournament? I assume this is before the first tournament took place. I think it's a massive wasted opportunity to potentially never ever use a significant portion of the game's content. You would actually cry if you saw competitive Smash Bros. Rule sets. It's gonna take us a while to work out the right balance for them in lobbies. No, I think we actually have that completely figured out after removing them entirely. Could we make the admin role color not black? It's hard to read on dark mode, and that could be inaccessible to some folks. This was just denied for absolutely no reason. I mean, I actually have this on my screen right now. This is the MKC admin role color. I literally can't read these people's names. I mean, in the video, I'm probably gonna zoom it in so it'll be easier to read, but like, this first guy's name, it's like, I literally can't make out the letters. The guy under, I think his name is just like J or something. It's like one letter. Could have just said like, no, we like the color. Why do you have to give no reason for that? What if you are going to make a 12v12 room with 4 teams but only 2 clans? What? Then the race starts. The first 2 teams from each clan will start. Top 12 probably. I genuinely have no idea what this guy is talking about.
12v12 room with 4 teams but 2 clans. First 2 teams from each clan will start. Okay. In each team, you could make 2 Discord calls. Why that idea? His words, not mine. I've heard from many players that a 12-player Discord call is madness. With this format, you could play 24 players, but also a 6v6 match is not so chaotic. But you're not playing a 6v6, though. You're playing a 12v12 still. This is just dumb. Honestly, this is dumb. This might be more for MKU, but this affects other team tournaments as well, seeing as the current matches are taking longer than it did in 8 Deluxe. If there's a consecutive match after the first one, can we have the time to open the second match room be 10 or 15? I haven't found that Wars and Mogies actually take that much longer than 8 Deluxe if everybody kinda does what they're supposed to. But, I mean, sure, why not? No reason not to be safe. This one's pretty good. Maybe you do offer a scheduled system or an alternate queue for rallies and intermissions so nobody feels forced to play them, but those who want can. You guys know that worldwides exist, right? Even then, I mean, if you want to make like a tournament or something where intermissions are allowed, sure. I mean, why not? People that don't like intermissions could just not play it. Strange suggestion, I know. Another great sign for what you're about to say. But for Rainbow Road, we should allow teams to pick the intermission. Next, allow 1 intermission race per match/war. He even says in the suggestion, I understand that intermissions aren't viewed as competitively viable, and while I agree the intermission itself isn't, I'm mainly suggesting this as a way to have a bit of change. Like, do you want to play the game competitively or not? Like, granted, it's kind of the whole point of Mario Kart that it's unfair in a way. But just why add to it, you know? Since the new game supports up to 24 players in a single lobby, formats other than 6v6 should be experimented with in the early days of the game. Maybe MKU seasons could rotate between different team sizes. You know, he had me in the first half. I mean, I agree that the only way to find out if something is bad is to try it out, but you can try out 24 players in worldwides. Even 3-lap tracks play a lot worse than they do in Mogies just because of the room size. Do more MK events, but have it at different times. The Australian community does not like this. I mean, sure. Why not? I don't know enough about Discord service to say how exactly, but I think the method of preventing spam in LFP and LFT should be reworked. Currently, because you lose the message sending permission, you can't edit a message once you send it in the channel. It would be nice if there was a way to still be able to edit messages. I've actually talked to someone about this before, and they said the reason that they give you a role that makes you unable to send messages instead of just using the Discord slow mode where you can edit messages after you send them is because Discord slow mode has a limit. It only goes up to like 6 hours or 8 hours or something. Well, you can give someone a role and it'll stay there for like a week if you want. Discord just put a bigger limit on slow mode, that would be solved, but I don't really think there's anything staff can do about that, to be honest. If not already implemented, require everyone to have their online display status set to no one so that randoms can't join the room. Yeah, this is a good idea, but then I can't look at my opponent's hours and then blame them for being unemployed. This should definitely be implemented. I mean, it says require everyone to have their display status to no one. I don't know how that's able to be moderated, but really nobody at all likes randoms joining their room. You might as well just do it. It is in your best interest as a player. So yeah, this one's good. If a player disconnects at the end of a race, it is physically impossible to join fast enough to get into the next track selection in the next race, therefore the room should be restarted. No. Rainbow Road should be considered a viable track. It technically falls under the no track intermission rule as a contentious section in Peach Stadium. No, it doesn't. I mean, lucky you, it is a viable track. You can pick it. Consider doing top 4 advanced in the first round and the top 6 rest of the way, though. Damn. I mean, that's pretty harsh. I haven't played enough tournaments to really know whether or not that would be a good idea, so I'm just not going to speak on it. For upcoming FFA/tournaments, we should experiment with larger room sizes like 16 or 18 and take feedback on how the game feels with larger rooms the game is designed around. I really think using weird-ass rule sets for just MKCentral tournaments and stuff is fine, because you can just not sign up to the tournament if you don't want to play them. Even 12-player rooms get pretty ridiculous. I mean, I'm not saying we should lower it further, I'm just saying we really shouldn't go higher in my opinion. Either make posting photos/videos directly accessible in more channels, especially channels like Strat Discussion and MK Media. Why would you not be able to send images in MK Media? I mean, I've never seen that channel, but that is really strange. Or make it so that it's not available in general. And you can do them in general? Either I'm not understanding something, or this server was set up in a really bizarre way. Yeah, I agree with this one. Make a Mogi 12-player tier and a Mogi 24-player tier instead of forcing everyone to play 24-player in the preseason. This is definitely before Lounge announced that they were going to do 12-player rooms anyway. But yeah, good idea. Knockout Tour mode, 6 races, 150cc standard items. That is a lot of races, man. Those are long. Points are awarded based on the final position in each race, and these are all the points. I don't really play much Knockout Tour, but it doesn't seem like that bad of an idea if you're into that sort of thing. Make lounge events gather every 60 minutes instead of every 72 minutes. I guess this is after lounges come out by now. There's far too much downtime between Mogies as it is because World Mogies are not that much longer than 8D Mogies. I mean, again, staff was just telling them that this isn't lounge. It's not that big a deal, but I do agree, to be honest. Do some science to see if the order that people are shown in the lobby pause menu correlates to the order that the votes show up on the roulette. Unfortunately, that's
that's just not how it works. When you're on the voting screen and it shows everyone's track, it just shows up based on the order of which they were voted, except the track you picked is always in the top left. If the above doesn't work, then maybe putting the PSA to contact Nintendo to complain about the voting issue is a good idea, since they've fixed stuff in the past from people doing this. I think the PSA in this context is like someone made a list of stuff that's like really wrong with the game that you can email to Nintendo or something like that. I haven't really looked into it, but it's something like that, just making Nintendo aware of the issues with the game. I honestly think in the future they'll add stuff like time trial splits, but I don't know about this one. They probably just don't care. Oh, we're actually to the end now. This is the latest suggestion, and it's an FFA looking for group thread. What does that even mean? Well, that was a pretty underwhelming ending, but I think it's cool there are very few suggestions in the game. I can actually go through and read every single one of them. But yeah, not like my usual videos. I probably won't make too many like this in the future where I just read suggestions or just look at Discord the whole time. Next video I'm probably just going to be going back to Mogies, and I'll talk about whatever else happens in the game. And that's all I really have to say. Thanks for watching.